Hi everyone. So here is the next 30 days study plan to crack IPMAT Rohtak. So what are we going to do? We are going to discuss the previous year paper pattern, the cutoff, the prep plan for QA, VA, LR. So let's focus on the paper pattern. So we all know that the IPMAT Rohtak paper pattern ever since when it started has been same. It has three sections: QA, that is quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning and verbal ability. Each section will have 40 questions, so total of 120 questions to be attempted in 120 minutes. So it's like a T20 game where speed is very important. For every correct answer you get 4 marks, and for every incorrect you get -1. The most important thing is there is no sectional time limit, which is there in IPMAT Indore. So IPMAT Rohtak does not have sectional time limit, neither it has a sectional cutoff, which means you can focus on the section which you are good at, okay, and try to solve everything in your strength area, and then you can focus on the area in which you are weak. Let's see the previous year cutoff. As we know that there are no sectional cutoff. If you look at the cutoff, the cutoff has grown from 265 in 2021 till 409 in 2023. So if you look at 409 marks out of 480, okay, that's really very high mark, high cutoff, okay, and it clearly means that over the period of year, the Rohtak difficulty has become easier and easier. From 2021, where the cutoff was 265, students were not able to easily attempt 100 questions. To 2023, there are a lot of students who attempted 114, 115 odd questions. Okay, so you can see that level of difficulty has drastically gone down. If we look at the strategy, how to approach the paper, as I said, it's a T20 game, so a lot of stake is there on speed. You need to have high speed. I don't have to mention that you also need to be accurate, okay, but having a very high accuracy and low speed will not work, okay. So you need to have high speed, need to be attempting 110, 115 odd questions with 95% accuracy. That is very high. You cannot say I'll attempt with 100% accuracy, probably I'll attempt only let's say 100 questions, okay. That will fetch you only 400 marks. The cutoff was 409. And that's what I said, speed is very important, and followed by that you need to also have a great accuracy. It's a focus, on your strength area. So let's say if my strength is verbal ability, then logical reasoning, and then quantitative aptitude, I will attempt the paper in that order. I want to make sure that the verbal ability and logical reasoning question that I attempt, the 80 question, I am attempting that with 95 to 100% accuracy. 100% looks slightly daunting, but then that is how the demand is. And then I'll attempt the QA paper. I'll attempt probably lesser questions, maybe 25, 30 odd questions, 30 questions with around 90, 92% accuracy. That will help me to get the overall marks, okay. As I said, the last year the cutoff was 409. I would recommend you target 430 plus in the mock, so that even if the paper is slightly easier, or if the papers are at the last, whatever the difficulty was last year, if paper is at that level of difficulty, then also the cutoff will go high, because now everyone knows that the cutoff last year was 409, which means everyone will start targeting 415 and 420. So your target should be 430, so that even if the cutoff goes higher, you are in the safe zone, okay. To have that 430 marks, more than 430 marks, your attempt has to be 110 plus, maybe 114, 115. There were students, who were able to attempt all 120 questions genuinely. There were a handful of students which I came across, okay. And as I said, 95% accuracy is must if you are attempting 110 odd questions. Even if you attempt 110 questions with 90% accuracy, probably you will not end up clearing the cutoff, okay. So your accuracy should also be as high as 95%. Very important thing, this fifth point is very, very, very important. Though we are talking about 430 marks, 409 marks was the cutoff last year. This was last year. What if this year the paper becomes difficult and the cutoff again goes to in that range of 260 to 310 marks? Okay, which means we are short of close to around 100 to 140 marks. That means 25 to 30 questions less. Okay, so 25 to 30 questions attempt less in the paper, that would have a really, impact on your psychological balance, because suddenly the paper comes difficult. You need to be prepared for that. And that's why I am giving you that warning. Be prepared. If the paper is difficult, you can gauge the difficulty of the paper while you are attempting it, because you have written so many mocks, right? So you can gauge the difficulty ki, okay, in the IMS mock also, we have mocks which are difficult where the cutoff was 280, and we have mock where the cutoff was 350, and we have mock where the cutoff is 400, correct? So you have written so many IMS mock, and you will realize that this is at par with the mocks where the cutoff was 350. So you have to, change your strategy, maybe not go and attempt everything. Okay, attempt slightly less but focus on accuracy. So you have to change your strategy accordingly as per the paper, as per its merit. Okay, we have 10 mocks, right? At least you should be writing 7 mocks, if not all 10. 7, 8, 7 plus mock is recommended. The most important thing, analyze. Even if you're not able to write all 10 mocks, if you're able to write 8 mocks, write 8 mocks, but analyze. Because analysis is the key to score good marks in the next mock. You will be able to understand where you are going wrong. Okay, where you could have increased 10 marks or a 20 marks or a 25 marks, in which question type, or in which question you would have spent less time, you would have skipped quicker, and you would be able to score more marks in some other questions. So that is why analysis is a key. Now if we talk about the prep plan for quantitative aptitude, that is QA section. Okay, so if we talk about last 2 years, the breakup of the QA section, we have numbers and arithmetic close to around 22 to 25% question. More than 50% questions were from these 2 areas. And generally these questions are easier. Student attempt with bang on 100% accuracy, and that is very much possible. So last year there was I remember there was some question, time speed distance question, the length of the train is given, length of the track is the station is given, and the speed of the train is given. You need to find the time in which the train will cross the station. Straight away application of formula and you can get it. Okay, so there was I could also remember there was one question wherein you have to find the maximum power of 5 in 200 factorial, I believe. Okay, I'm not sure, but a similar concept. So this question can be done in less than a minute. And hence, having that 100% accuracy in arithmetic and numbers question is very, very, very crucial. And that, more than 50% of the paper is going to be arithmetic and numbers. Why not solve arithmetic and numbers on a regular basis so that you get bang on accuracy? Next we have is linear equation, quadratic equation, surds and algebra, couple of maybe a function questions. Around 4 to 6 odd questions, you should be attempting this with 95% accuracy. Around 7 to 9 questions from geometry, mensuration and trigonometry, focused on having that 95% accuracy. Set theory, permutation, combination, probability, around 4 to 5 questions. Make sure that you attempt with 95% accuracy. Now the breakup of the 40 questions, which means I would say that on every alternate day you should be practicing numbers and arithmetic, and the other alternate day you should be focusing on linear, quadratic, surds, functions, geometry, mensuration, set theory, permutation and probability. Generally in IPMAT Rohtak, the equation based question, the mensuration based question, the geometry based question are easier, doable. Mensuration questions are straight away application of formula. What you need to focus on is permutation, combination, probability, because that is tricky. Even the question is easier, at times students make silly mistakes. So make sure that you focus on PNC probability, which means, even if there are 2 or 3 questions on PNC probability, you are not making that silly mistake in the actual exam. So that's what you need to do when you, if you want to score more than 35 correct in the QA section of IPMAT Rohtak. We move to verbal ability and reading comprehension. There are 10 questions on reading comprehension with, I don't expect 100% accuracy. I mean, you have 100% accuracy, that's bingo. But then you should have at least 90% accuracy, because the questions are very straightforward, not very subjective or critical reasoning involved in it. Around vocabulary, you should be attempting close to around 11, there are 11 to 13 vocabulary questions. So, which also means that you need to be, remembering, revising vocabulary, phrasal verbs, questions on a regular day-to-day basis. You will also have parajumble, sentence completion and sentence rearrangement. Okay, sentence rearrangement is something that you don't find in IPMAT Rohtak, you don't come across in NPAT or other exams. So make sure that you practice sentence rearrangement question. There are 8 to 10 questions and around 90-95% accuracy is easily manageable here. Sentence rearrangement is not something which is very difficult. It is, I would suggest that, so para-jumble, there are paragraphs given broken down into 4 or 5 sentences. Sentence rearrangement, a sentence is given, one sentence. It is, broken down into parts A, B, C, D. You need to arrange them, that sentence need to be arranged such that it is meaningful and, it does not have any grammatical error. So that's pretty easy as compared to para-jumble, okay. Now, if we move to grammar, 8 to 10 questions are on grammar, and this, trust me guys, this grammar questions are straight away very easy. The easiest part of the IPMAT Rohtak VA section. And hence, I am suggesting to have that 95% accuracy here. Now, what you should be doing? Since you will be preparing for IPMAT Indore as well, okay, something different that you need to do here is focused on para-jumble, because in IPMAT Indore, you have para-jumble which does not have option. Here, you have option, which means you'll have to learn art of eliminating the option. If you learn that art, you will save the time there, okay. You don't have to figure out what is going to be the correct sequence. Start understanding that how can you eliminate the option and arrive at the correct answer. Otherwise, reading comprehension, vocabulary and grammar is something that you would be doing for IPMAT Indore. So, nothing special that you will have to do for IPMAT Rohtak. Now, moving on to the prep plan for DI and LR. This is where you will have to emphasize more on, practice more on, because you don't find, questions of data interpretation and logical reasoning in IPMAT Indore except for that one set that comes in IPMAT Indore. So, coding, decoding, blurred relation, you always get 5 to 6 questions. So, focus, practice every day 5 to 6 questions of coding, decoding or blurred relation, maybe an alternate day. Arrangement and puzzle is something that you would be doing for IPMAT Indore. So, nothing separate you need to do for IPMAT Rohtak here. Miscellaneous puzzles, which would include analogy, which will include odd man out, which will include complete the series, alphanumeric series, clocks and calendar. These are the question types that you need to practice on a regular basis, because you have 13 to 15 questions on them. Okay, and make sure that whatever you are practicing with bang on accuracy. If not 100%, then 95% is something that you should be at least targeting at. And verbal reasoning question around 9 to 10, that would include syllogism, that would include statement assumption, statement conclusion, inference questions, or courses of action, cause effect. These are the questions which are generally tested in IPMAT Rohtak verbal reasoning. And if you look at the accuracy is 90%, not 95-100%, because slightly subjective, but you need to make sure that out of 10 questions you get 9 correct. Okay, that is where the key is. One question right here and there will add up 4 or 5 questions overall correct, that will boost your marks by 20 odd marks. Okay, so you need to not let go even one question making an error in verbal reasoning. 9 out of 10 should be a good accuracy for verbal reasoning in IPMAT Rohtak. Now, if you look at the 30-day plan, you will solve quantitative ability 30 questions on a regular everyday basis. Okay, make sure that you solve the 30 questions. 30 questions probably should not take more than 1 hour. 40 questions we are saying, 40 questions you'll be attempting in, let's say, around 40, 45, 50 minutes. I'm saying 30 questions you should be attempting in 45 minutes. That's it. While practicing 45 minutes over a period of time, maybe 30 questions, 30 minutes should be your target. Verbal ability, everyday 2 RCs, everyday 2 grammar, 5 para jumble, 5 para completions, and you will learn 20 new vocabulary words. Very, very, very important. 20 new vocabulary word for 30 days. Let's say you do it for 20 days and keep on revising on a regular basis. You will still learn 400 new words. That's very crucial. That's very important. And for logical reasoning, 5 coding, decoding, 5 blurred relation, 2 sets of arrangements or and puzzles, 10 verbal reasoning questions and 5 questions on either clock, calendar, analogy, series, missing number, visual reasoning that we talk about. This is something that you need to be focusing on a regular basis. Divide your day into 3 parts. Maybe first 45 minutes to 1 hour you are solving QA. Next 45 to 50 minutes you are solving 1 hour maybe at max verbal ability, and next 1 hour is logical reasoning. So 3 hours of IPMAT Rohtak preparation and another 3 to 4 hours for IPMAT Indore preparation. So close to around 7 to 8 hours. When you are not writing mock, this is what you need to be focusing on for next 30 days. Week 1, I would recommend you to start with the first, the IPMAT Rohtak mock. Analyze it, understand what are your weak area, work on your weak area on the first week. Next week, write 2 mocks, okay, analyze it. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Identify that. Now, since you have worked on your weak area, the percentage of weak areas should be lesser. So, identify what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Maybe you want to work on your weak area. Couple of weak areas could be converted into your strength. Do that. Third week, write mocks, 2 mocks. Finalize your strategy. What should be your strategy? Whether verbal first, LR first, verbal first, LR second, QA last, or maybe you'll start with QA. What is that strategy that you want to implement? Try to work on multiple strategies and fix your strategy. And the last week, you write 3 mocks with that one strategy and try to boost your overall score. Try to take it 420, 430 plus. That should be your target if you are targeting IPMAT Rohtak. This is how you need to be approaching the next 30 days. That's it from my end. All the best. There is one good news that IMS has. If you look at the QR code which is there in the middle, IMS Zero Fee Program. So if you enrolled here, scan the QR code, or you can go to IMS India website, imsindia.com. There is something called as enroll for a Zero Fee Program. You enroll for Zero Fee Program, you get access to 1 free mock each for IPMAT Rohtak, IPMAT Indore, JIPMAT, NPAT, SET and Christ University entrance test. Apart from that, you also get couple of module tests and few topic-wise tests. So explore the website. The most importantly, write the mock, come and write the mock so that you can have that national benchmark among more than 1,000 students writing these mocks, so you'll have that national benchmarking. Once again, all the best. Thank you everyone.